Hello everyone and welcome back to our Commander Deck Tech Spotlight series. In this video we're going back in time to a couple sets with legendary creatures lost to obscurity. That's right, we'll be looking at the potential commanders from Mercadian Masques and Nemesis. Two sets not exactly famous for their legendary creature offerings. I do hope you enjoy the video, and if you do and want more videos like these, be sure to hit that like button, helps out a lot. We'll begin in Mercadian Masques all those years ago with Cho-manno Revolutionary. 2 of anything and 2 white for a 2/2 human rebel. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to cho-manno. Not a particularly popular commander, cho-manno does have something most commanders don't have: resilience. He has so much resilience, in fact, that his namesake deck, while quite unpopular, is actually pretty funny and somewhat effective. The only thing that separates cho-manno from other mono-white commanders is this damage prevention ability, so the deck is entirely designed around it. Cho-manno is often accompanied by the likes of Pariah, Pariah's shield, indestructibility, shielded by faith, and anything else that either redirects damage or helps keep the human rebel alive. As a matter of fact, when you look at a cho-manno deck, it's basically a mono-white prison build / weird Voltron strategy. It's really peculiar, let me explain. The deck runs cards like Pentarch Ward, Entangler, Gift of Immortality, and Cho-manno's Blessing. Again, it's like a Voltron deck, except all the enchant creatures are designed to keep Cho-manno alive, so you never actually take damage yourself. This bevy of auras are joined by solid prison / protection spells like Leyline of Sanctity, Grand Abolisher, Ghostly Prison, Windborn Muse, and the usual suspects beyond that. It's actually pretty impressive, the deck list that Cho-manno is able to put together. It's both effective and incessantly annoying. You can imagine what the rest of the deck is like. Just full of powerful creatures that love Voltroning up, like Guardian of the Gateless, Vengeful Archon, Avacyn Guardian Angel, Platinum Angel. Basically think of a mono-white or artifact creature that would like to stay alive forever, and it's probably in this list. You know, I'm surprised Cho-manno isn't more popular as a commander. This guy's infuriating. Now, if you want to run him in an existing deck, he's perfectly suitable in Captain Sisay, and one other rebel deck that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Again, not a popular legendary creature, but a dang fun one, let me tell you that right now. Squee Goblin Nabob is 3 mana for a 1/1 goblin. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return Squee from your graveyard to your hand. The nice thing about Squee is that you can let him die and then return him to your hand, avoiding the command zone tax indefinitely. Beyond that, this is one of the more useless goblins. If you are hell-bent on running Squee as your commander, your best bet is to run a deck that focuses on either sacrificing creatures or discarding cards. Since Squee comes back just always, he can keep a Masticore alive forever if that interests you. He can fuel Chandra ablaze if you're ever in that kind of mood. You can even discard him to Lightning Axe. There are a plethora of red cards that enjoy discarding cards. In all honesty, if you're going to play this little goblin as your commander, this is the kind of life you're looking at. Filled with Shivan Harvest, Carnage Altars, Arms Dealers, Siege Gang Commanders, and more of the like. If we're being real, you should run Squee as your commander if you really hate Squee, because all you do is kill him over and over and over again. His rightful place is in other mono-red commander decks. He's decent in Duretti, as again, he keeps coming back when you discard him. Not bad in Jaya Ballard, same deal, and the Shattergang brothers can use him effectively thanks to their sacrifice-based abilities. If you're going to use him, you gotta abuse the never-ending recursion, right? Enjoy dooming Squee to a fate of death and rebirth forever. Y'all are sick. Poor Squee. Lyn Civi Defiant Hero is 1 of anything and 2 white for a 1/3 human rebel. You can pay X and tap her to search your library for a rebel permanent card with converted mana cost X or less, and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. You can also pay 3 mana and put target rebel card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Finally, we got to a commander with a legitimate presence in the format. Lyn Civi is the premier rebel commander, fully loaded with an easy mana cost and 2 relevant abilities. They don't make these types of creature legends anymore, I'll tell you that. Her first ability is a rebel tutor, absurd, and her second ability fuels the rebel tutor with her fallen comrade. She's a rebel machine. As you can imagine, the majority of your deck is full of rebels. Thankfully, she doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting herself. The rebel card type is pretty healthy. Defiant Falcon, Ramosian Captain, Amro Scout, and Ramosian Lieutenant are just a few of the rebel-based tutors available to you. What can you search for? That's even more fun. Defiant Vanguard, Cho-manno, Changeling Hero, Ballista Squad. If you can think it up, there's probably a rebel creature that has what you need. I'm not even joking. The rebel creature type is one that's flown under the radar for years, getting a few cards here and there for years at a time. Riftmark Knight, Aven Riftwatcher, Ramosian Revivalist, Revel Squad. Seriously, there's so much variety and depth in the creature type, I'm surprised it isn't more popular. Once you've filled your deck with crazy strong rebels, you complete the package with your classic white staples. Swords to Plowshare, Sun Titan, Return to Dust, Condemn, most of what you'd expect. If you want to blindside your opponents, you can include cheeky cards like Crib Swap, Retribution of the Meek, and Konda's Banner. They never expect the changeling spells, they never ever do. Also, if you aren't running Lynn Civvy as your commander, just don't play her, just don't do it. She's designed to lead an army of rebels, nothing more, nothing less. She's your commander or nothing. Done. Ascendant Evankars, 4 of anything and 2 black for a 3/3 vampire with flying. Other black creatures get +1/+1, and non-black creatures get -1/-1. As you can see, Ascendant Evankar is very one-track minded. The dude hates non-black creatures. He hates them. Straight up pisses him off. The problem? He's so blinded by his hatred for non-black creatures that he'll actually help your opponent's black creatures. So when you play Ascendant Evankar, you need to go even bigger than other black decks. Welcome to a commander that pushes nothing but mono-black synergies. We're talking real deep here. Cryptghast, Erebos, Mutilate, Bad Moon. This is legit black tribal. There's nothing else the Evankar is good at. He isn't even good at being a vampire. Almost every other vampire legend in Magic is a better vampire tribal leader than the Evankar, so just ditch that plan right now. Think Paragon of Open Graves or Nirkana Revenant. You're playing mono black, so you can play Phyrexian Obliterator if you want, or Helldozer. The world is your dead, festering oyster. Things may get a little heated if you have an opponent playing black as well, but for whoever isn't playing black, they are not going to like you. Besides creatures, a mono-black tribal deck, which is basically what this is, has to have ways to deal with other black decks, so you're going to be relying heavily on kill spells. Go for the Throat, Sudden Spoiling as a solid combat trick, Urge to Feed, Hero's Downfall, really anything that avoids the whole non-black clause. You're already passively wrecking non-black decks. At the end of the day, you could just do what black does best, wipe the board over and over again until everyone hates you. Decree of Pain, Damnation, Toxic Deluge, Extinguish All Hope. There are plenty of board wipes to keep the other black decks down if that's your worry. Listen, Ascendant Evankar is the commander you play when you're really sick of everything the other colors are doing. I would not suggest letting this vampire lead your army unless you were absolutely dedicated to destroying the hopes and dreams of non-black decks. That's the only time I'd give you my blessing, to be completely honest. Ascendant Evankar may not make the best commander, but he's one of the best 99 legends in all of Magic. Not even kidding. Incredibly popular, he's in every vampire deck I've ever seen, from Anowin to Drana to Olivia and more. Ascendant Evankar has useful abilities, but they are abilities better suited for deck inclusion than deck leading. If you have a creature base that is mostly black, consider the Ascendant. He is quite powerful, and not many other creatures in all of Magic do what he does. It's just a thought. Volrath the Fallen is 3 of anything and 3 black for a 6/4 shapeshifter thanks to the errata text. You can pay 2 mana and discard a creature card. Volrath gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the discarded card's converted mana cost. Volrath, like Squee before him, has a pretty simple concept built into his card. Discard giant creatures and smash face with your huge commander. Volrath decks primarily win due to commander damage, so that's where we're going to start. Unlike most mono-black decks, you aren't looking to buff up your entire creature base. What you're looking to do is create a giant Volrath and win in one swing. Remember, 21 commander damage ends the game. That's your goal. Kill someone in a single blow, so the entire deck is built up by giant creatures, discard outlets, and recursion engines. It's one of the more complicated mono-black commander decks, but wow, is it fun. Let's go a little deeper. When I say big creatures, I mean big. We're talking Kozilek, Emrakul the Promised End, Draco, Ulamog. Basically any decent creature at 7 mana or above, it's probably in this deck somewhere. It may be easier to look at Volrath as a combo commander. The deck is absurdly slow, but if everything comes together, you're gonna love it. In addition to your giant smattering of creatures, you need ways to get through for damage, right? Rogue's Passage, Key to the City, Whisper Soak, Cloak, Sword of Vengeance if you don't have time for real evasion. The deck really is focused on one thing. Now, if Volrath just isn't getting it done and you have a billion other giant creatures you need to fight with, The strategy does include things like Victimize, Ever After, Quicksilver Amulet, and Whip of Erebos to help bring them all back to relevance. Of the mono black decks in Commander, Volrath leads one of the biggest in terms of mana cost and size. If this is a strategy that you're interested in, it can be crazy fun, but really only in a casual environment. Again, deck's crazy slow, but it's basically a combo deck, and when it works, it feels amazing. It's worth a try if it sounds like something you'd like. Now, if Volrath is a creature you want to play but not lead with, you're basically out of luck. I guess you can try running him in Cedrus due to the Unearth ability, but even then, Volrath needs a very specific strategy around him to reach his full potential. I'd leave him out if you aren't leading with him. So what do you all think? Do you like any of these Mercadian Masques or Nemesis commanders? Any you hadn't heard of before? Any you see in a new light? I'd love to hear what you're thinking. Also, which sets would you like us to cover in the future? We're here to please you after all. Make sure to let me know what you're thinking. As always, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. If you took a particular liking to cho-manno, you're in luck. The Rebel Legend's only 45 cents right now. Not even joking. 45 cents. That's a deal if I ever saw one. Does anything cost 45 cents nowadays? I doubt it. Not a fan? Let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum. Volrath the Fallen with his crazy discard giant craziness deck. If that caught your eye, you're also in luck, as Volrath is a cool 50 cents per copy. Seriously, it's like these cards want you to play Commander. If you're interested in either of these or want any of the cards we talked about today, be sure to click the links on the screen. Helps the channel. Win-win. Enjoy.